time to throw some really weird looking questions at you, like this one, right? It says, if the trigonometric equation is not factorable, what do we mean? If you try to PSA this monster and it doesn't work, the only solution you have is to graph it and solve this graphically on your graphing calculator. Well, there's an issue then. How do I set up my periods here? Well, you can't. I'm going to have to give you the restriction. And that's how you're going to turn around and solve this thing. Ah, I see. Okay, so it's going to be graphed within a certain restriction. You don't know what the period is because you don't have the ability to figure out that period yet. Okay, so just leave it at that. Solve it within this restriction. So if you do that, the easiest thing to do then is to take this guy here, put this in as y1, put this in as y2, change the restriction on your calculator. Of course, this is going to be in radians, so your answer is going to be in radians too. So start playing around with the window setting. Let's check. First thing you should notice is up in the right-hand corner, in some of the newer calculators, it may actually list it, and it'll say that this is in degrees. Remember, this question was in radians, so immediately change that mode. Get into that mode, and you got to be pretty quick at being able to switch back and forth between the two, right? Okay, so now it's in radians, everything's fine. The second thing is look back and look at the restriction between 0 and 2 pi, including 2 pi. So we're going to go back over to here. I'm going to go to my window, and I'm going to, of course, zoom trig it right now. So it's going to set up to be the kind of the default. But I want to set this up to be what the restrictions were in the question. So the restrictions were from 0 to 2 pi. And I don't care what they go up by. I really don't care what they go up by. If you want it to go up by pi over 3s or pi over 6s or pi over 4s, totally 100% up to you. So I'm just going to leave that value at 1.57, whatever 1.57 rads works out to be, all right? Okay, now that's pretty easy. Okay, let's go back to putting the y equals 2 in there. Now, if you remember then, the y equals 2 is, 5 sine squared minus sine x. But how do we do this on your calculator? Let me show you. It's actually kind of interesting. To set it up properly, you have to go 5. And remember, this thing is squared. So you're actually going to go sine x, and you're going to put the squared on the outside like that. You're going to need brackets, right? So this may actually, on your calculator, may force you to put brackets around the x. So what? Put brackets around the x. Then you're going to put in minus sine x. That's going to be your y1. And your y2 is, of course, going to be 2. So y2 looks like that. Y1 looks like that. And let's see what it looks like on my calculator. So it becomes a little bit tougher to do. But so what? You can handle it. Okay, here we go. 5 bracket sine x. And look, like I said, it forces you to put that bracket in there. But don't forget to put that second bracket down. And what's the second bracket represent? It represents this guy here, like this and like that. Aha. Okay, so that's kind of important to know that. Then you can put in your squared, right? Minus now your sine of x. Perfect. There's your first equation with the squared in it. This is, of course, going to be 2. Well, you're all set up. Let's punch it. Let's see what it looks like. Graph me. Woo! Look at that. So, in fact, you have 4 intersects there. And all it asks you to do, no general form, it just asks you what are those 4 intersects. And you just have to list them. Well, how do you do that? Okay, second calc, trace, find the intersect right there. Okay, let's go. Let's find the first one. And then we'll just do this systematically. Enter, enter, enter. First one is 0.83. Okay, so the first one, 0.83. Okay, perfect. Let's go to the next one. Second trace or calc, intersect. There we go. Enter, enter, enter. And I've got 2.30. Okay, next one, comma, 2.30. And if you're going to consistently tell me 2 decimal places, make sure all the answers are 2 decimal places. That would be really nice. Okay, back to this one. Second calc, find the intersect again. Let's go over to the next little one. There it is. Enter, enter, enter. Okay, 3.71. Okay, 3.71 it is. Beautiful. And finally, the last one. Second calc. Find me the intersect. Wow, it's like you've never done this before, eh? Wow. Okay, where are you, X? There it is. Okay, enter, 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 and I've got 5.7. And that's how you'd write the answers for this. 5.7, oops, I said to 2 decimal places, 5.71. All right, beautiful. And there's my answers for this. And that's how you would go out and do this. Sound good? Sounds good.